Good morning, folks! The reason why it's a good morning is that I am at a campground in the city of Hirtshals in northern Denmark. Behind me are my faithful iron horse Sprinter and its companion, which will actually be the main topic of this episode. First of all, I want to point out that it is completely made in Ukraine. So basically, all the production is concentrated in Kiev. Right now, the company has built a new large factory and will be increasing its production. They already have over 50 employees working for them, and they plan to expand their staff. Therefore, you can understand that this is the result of the tremendous work of many people. First of all, I'll say that the campers are built on German platforms Knot, which is one of the best platform manufacturers. Here, a 30-pin adapter is installed and all the charging comes from the car to the camper. The batteries get charged while you're driving. Here we have, by standard, a safety cable. And right here, as you can see, we have a wheel chuck. A wheel is intended solely for parking purposes. Right here, we've got a manual brake. By lifting it up with the light upward motion, it is turned on, and by moving it down with the same motion, it is lowered. Moving on to this box here. It is quite steep in my opinion because it is very large. There is a 2-kilogram gas cylinder placed here. From my experience, such a cylinder lasts for a very long time. Here are ventilation openings in case you happen to forget to close the gas. And here we have a luggage compartment, and I really like that it has a shock absorber. You go. That's it, it's all very simple. There is a lighting here, and as you can see, there's plenty of space. A huge backpack can easily fit here, for example, for hiking or maybe even two. As for the coating, it's an amazing Line X coating. It doesn't scratch, it doesn't peel off. Thanks to this coating, the entire camper is made in one seam, because it's made of plywood and then coated. And as you can see, there are no seams here. Accordingly, it won't crack anywhere, nothing will leak, even if you hit it. These are the first doors. By the way, there is a lighting here, which is extremely useful at night. Here we have doors covered with such material, two curtains. The curtains are double layered, so they are black from the side and gray from the other side. And because they are double layered, they don't let any light pass through at all. I haven't cleaned up, left the working environment so that you can actually see how I spent the last night. Here we have a real mattress, and underneath it is an imitation of a real bed. So, let me show you what we have here. We have this control panel, so to speak. It's all simple here. We have 3 switches. One for the exterior lights, one for the interior lights, the LED ones, and the rear light. Yesterday evening I was sitting and working only with this light. It creates a cozy atmosphere and is quite powerful. So if you want to read a book, for example, you can turn it on. Here we have a switch for the Webasto. Webasto is an independent heater. It's used to provide heating when it's cold in winter especially. It's cool because it doesn't rely on electricity to operate, it operates from the diesel tank located here. And there are 2 vents near your feet that constantly provide warmth. It maintains the temperature on its own, so you can set it to, for example, a medium setting. There is a temperature sensor here. It understands when it's warm inside the camper and automatically switches off. Here we have the most important thing for me in the camper, which is 220-volt socket. And this incredible 220-volt socket is powered by an inverter. So you can understand, I'll not lie to you and show you everything as it is. Tonight I charge, look, 3 drone batteries, charge my Garmin navigator, charge my laptop, and charge the gimbal for the camera. I also charge the camera itself and its 2 batteries. You see, I charged the camera that I'm currently filming on. As you can see here, in addition to the power outlets, there are two USB ports on one side and two USB ports on the other side. There's a stereo system and awesome speakers from GVC. Of course, there are hangers on each side. And what I find very clever are the cups holders here. We also have these cabinets with smaller shelves where you can store books, for example. Here we have another large shelf. What I really liked is that there's a folder from Lifestyle included, and in this folder you'll find all the instructions for the camper. Now there's an interesting thing here. We have a table that slides out, which is very easy to attach and then place it outside near the kitchen. I should mention that we have another window here, and there's also a hatch. You spin it, up, opened. It has a mosquito net, nothing will fly in here, whether it's moonlight or sunlight. Hop, you just close it. And there is no hatch. Hop, you opened it and here's the hatch. Now regarding the size and sleeping area. My height at the moment is approximately 1 meter 76 centimeters. And I want to tell you that there are full 2 meters of space here, because the mattress 140 centimeters by 2 meters. I honestly slept today as comfortably as at home on my own bed. And believe me, my wife, 2-year-old daughter Milanka, and I all slept here together. If you have such a family, there's plenty of space here too. I would like to point out that each window has an additional sliding window that can be positioned like this, and that's also very cool. The mosquito net is included and is hidden here for the first window, and here it is for the second one. There's a latch that locks it down, and all these doors are closed, but can be easily opened. You see, the doors are open, and if you want, you can open them fully. Here we have this wonderful spare tire, and I am very glad that it's not at the bottom, but on the side. First of all, I'll tell you that here is where the shower is connected. Here we have a tank and a Webasto, which is the autonomous heater I told you about. It blows warmth inside. The most interesting part, for me at least, was the kitchen. I'll start with the control panel. It's expanded here. There is a tank, my dear folks, for 60 liters. See what you have here? Comet brand. You press it and it shows that I have 100% water, which is 60 liters. Now, there's something interesting here. We have two sockets for 220 volts, but what sets them apart is that one of them has an inverter, while the other one is just 220 volts. The inverter is what converts the car's 12 volts power to 220 volts. When you are at the campsite, you have the option to connect a socket directly to this inverter. For example, in this case, from the campsite's power grid. I paid for the electricity and now I'm using it. Therefore, my camper is constantly being charged and powered. It's connected through this wire directly from the campsite's power grid, and it's really cool. For example, this morning I turned on the kettle, which has a power rating of 2.5 kilowatts, and everything worked wonderfully. Here we have the lighting, which can be adjusted. I like that it's dual lighting. We also have two USB chargers here, and this button here is the main power switch. When you turn it off, everything here shuts down. Here we have a refrigerator that came with the camper Lifestyle. It's an amazing fridge. I've been testing it for 3 days now, and as you can see, we have chicken, tomatoes. See, I set the temperature to 5 degrees and it maintains it perfectly. Charging from the car, so if I want my camper to charge from my car while I am driving, I turn on this button. Here we have a gas stove powered by a gas cylinder located in the front. Moving on, we have this cabinet. As you can see, I'm settling in a bit. Next, there's another interesting cabinet. It's interesting because you can store various things in it. And secondly, it's the control unit for the solar panel. As you can see, it shows that the battery is currently charging. The battery is fully charged at 14 volts. And of course, there's a switch with which you can turn everything off and not worry that something is still running somewhere. The solar panels actually are located right here. You can choose them as an option, and I want to tell you that I haven't had this kind of electricity from the campsite for 3 days, because I didn't stay at campsites and my camper was constantly charged from the solar panel. All my devices were charged exclusively from the solar panel, including my laptop, drone, cameras, and so on. If you know how much batteries that is, you understand. We have another cabinet here, and I'm already settled in here as well. Here we have the water I was talking about, 60 liters of it. Another important thing for me as a driver is the rear lights. They are from a cool brand and they illuminate amazingly at night. Huge thumb up from me. Since we're already here, let me show you what interesting things we have underneath. First of all, we have stabilizer jacks that allow us to level the camper. You can lower them and thus level the camper. For example, if you're parked too much to the left or right, you can raise that side. And since we climbed down here, let me show you this technological marvel called independent suspension. So here we have, as I already showed, a 220-volt power outlet. This adapter comes with the camper. We have a very simple system here. To fill it with water, you just open it with a key. There is an awning. I have already set up the awning in the forest. I really liked having an awning because it is huge, even bigger than the camper itself. The arches from Ademar and Attest tires. It's an off-road camper and it has off-road tires, which makes sense. I'll show you how it looks from the top. Basically, the hatch that I already mentioned, and the luggage rack. In conclusion, I would like to add that the size of this camper may seem small at first glance, but think about how much has been packed into it and how cool it is made. It certainly commands respect. Thank you all for watching. This wonderful camper and my van bid you farewell. It's a temporary goodbye. I promise to be back very soon. So thank you for being here, and thanks to the Armed Forces of Ukraine for giving me the opportunity to share this little piece of happiness with you. I hope you enjoyed it, and until we meet again.